Let's talk about a concept that goes a little deeper: capital maintenance. There are two main approaches here, and they help us understand what counts as profit. First is financial capital maintenance. Under this concept, a company earns a profit only if its equity increases, excluding anything the owners put in or took out. So if equity goes up because the business itself made money, that's profit. Example, a company earns income, keeps it as retained earnings, and equity grows. That's a win. The second approach is physical capital maintenance. This one's a bit different. Profit is only recognized if the company's productive capacity stays the same. So let's say you're a manufacturer. If prices rise due to inflation, you'd need to earn enough just to replace your machines. Only the excess after maintaining that capacity would be considered profit. This approach is often more relevant in times of high inflation or for asset-heavy industries. Now let's connect theory to real life, specifically to IFRS and how accounting standards are created. At the heart of it all is the conceptual framework. Think of it as the rule book behind the rule book. It doesn't set standards directly, but it guides the IASB, the International Accounting Standards Board, when they create or update standards. If the IASB is developing a new standard and there's no existing IFRS rule that fits, they turn to the conceptual framework as their foundation. It acts as a reference point, ensuring decisions are grounded in consistent principles. All right, so how does this work in practice? The conceptual framework helps ensure that new accounting standards are developed with consistency. No random rules popping up out of nowhere. It all ties back to core principles. It also helps in situations where there's confusion or conflict, for example, when different interpretations of the standards arise. Accountants, regulators, and even auditors can look back to the framework to figure out the right approach. So while the framework doesn't always provide specific instructions, it acts like the compass for the entire financial reporting system. To wrap it all up, theories like capital maintenance influence how we define and measure profit. The conceptual framework makes sure financial reporting stays consistent and principle-based. It guides the IASB when developing IFRS standards and helps professionals interpret them when things get murky. And finally, the different approaches and concepts we've looked at today aren't just abstract ideas. They shape the real-world evolution of accounting. Understanding this foundation helps us make sense of the why behind the what, and that's what makes you not just a student of accounting, but a future professional.